Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Circle of the Main podcast top 5 picks of the week for week 14. Once again, I'm your host, Devious One, Ivan C, alongside with my brothers from another mother. We got the killer of all killers, the reputation killer, Josh Bret Horton, ladies and gentlemen. And also we have the great American hero of all heroes. He's the great American hero, Mike Lopez, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Hear him. Come on. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Woo! And also we have, the studios of all studios. He is the Mr. Karen Beater of all beaters. He is the Cardona, half brother missing, and the nephew of Mr. Rick Steamboat. He's the Kellerman of the Circle of Debate, ladies and gentlemen, and Mr. MGC Matt Steamboat, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! So, ladies and gentlemen, today's top 5 pick of the week for week 14 is our top 5 greatest matches of all time. Now, this is going to be an interesting pick because I think for me it was a tough one. I don't know how was it for my other fellow brothers, but it was a tough one for me. So let's see who is going to go first. Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'll cut myself as well. Me, I'll go first. Okay. All right. Let me go first.
Hear it.
Oh, man, this is going to be the toughest one of all time. I'll tell you that right now. Let me just get my – oh, there you go. All right. Ooh, okay, number 5. This was God, this is really tough. Number 5 will have to be Royal Rumble 2003, Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit for the WWE Championship. One of my favorite matches between these two guys. Man, and the feud was incredible. And the technician in the ring, phenomenal, man. You can't go wrong. Phenomenal. So, I mean, shit, Kurt Angle, Benoit, I could go with that every day. I love it, unfortunately, Benoit, but I didn't want to mention all that. But I'm just, as a professional wrestler, wow, that was really a great match. I think it was match of the year for 2003, if I'm corrected. Yes, that was a great match of all time. So that's my number 5. My number 4. Man, I'm going to hate to do this, but I'm going to do it regardless. Number 4 would be when it was TNA 2005, when it was the pay-per-view Unbreakable triple threat match. AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe for the X Division Championship. What a fucking triple threat match between
you bastard. You got me. That was one of mine.
I love them. That one was incredible. I loved it. And that's what made me fall in love with all 3 of them. My God, man. They put up a great match. Back and forth, styles, high-flying styles, technique styles. And YouTube, that is, gentlemen, YouTube, AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe for TNA Unbreakable for the X Division title. That was in 2005. Watch that match. You will love it. You will not be disappointed. Not be disappointed. All right, that was my number 4. Now my number 3. My number 3 would be 2018, Dominion. Kenny Omega versus Okada. That was an hour. That was like almost an hour and what? Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. Was it like almost an hour and 20 minutes? Almost.
Was this the draw or was this when
the
he dropped the title?
Best out of 3 falls. This is when he dropped the title. When Kenny Omega finally won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship away from Okada. It was, best out of 3 falls.
The cherry on the cake.
And man, wow. The great emotional story, and especially for Kenny Omega, him hunting for that title and reaching for the sky, and he falls.
That trilogy.
That trilogy between him and Okada was one of the greatest feuds of all time in New Japan history. I hate to say it was better than AJ and Nakamura, to be honest. So that's why I can't put that in there, but because this trilogy was a great saga, and YouTube that, ladies and gentlemen, as well. You can find it on YouTube, those trilogy matches and Dominion. And it was an emotional day for Kenny Omega finally winning the IWGP Heavyweight Championship alongside with his brothers, the Young Bucks, and Kota Ibushi. And that was when the Golden Elite was born. That's when the Golden Elite was born. So that was great. I love that. So that's my number 3. My number 2, this is the toughest one of all time. But I'm going to have to say it. Ooh. The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. That was one of the most
that's a damn good one right there.
Good one right there of all time. Heaven and Hell, I like how they both came in. That was a great entrance on both sides because they gave the story, not going religious wise, but wow.
Even deeper on that, Ivan. Just imagine like how. Think about of who they are at a core. Like think of like Mark Calloway and Sean Hickenbottom just sitting at their mama's house in Texas, just thinking someday is like, I could be Ivan's favorite match someday. Just.
Oh yeah, man, I could watch that over and over. To be honest, and I don't get disappointed of it because it looked like so close that Michaels was gonna beat him, and I was like, oh shit, he's like, I can't believe it in the streak, But I loved it. It was incredible. It was emotional for me, to be honest, because I'm like. 2 of the people that I grew up in the Attitude Era, especially, and besides the Attitude Era, the 80s era, the 90s, early 90s era too, for Shawn Michaels' solo career and Taker's career as well, going up to another level as well. 2 of the greatest icons in professional wrestling, putting a great match at WrestleMania 25. That was the match of the year. People would never stop saying it. It was the match of the year. Better than the second part at the next following WrestleMania. So, my number 1, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll. Oh, you're not going to believe it. WrestleMania 17, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock.
That's good.
Why?
You got me again, damn it.
Why? Because the feud, how it was built up. It all started in 15, obviously, when Austin beat The Rock for the WWF Championship at the time. And, they skipped a year, obviously, went a different route. Rock became a babyface. And then you finally had 2 babyfaces, going at it with each other. Austin winning the Rumble. Austin's the only guy who won 3 Royal Rumbles, 3 different years. He's the only man, and nobody else has, beat his record. The Rock beating Kurt Angle had no way out. Sorry, Mike. He beat your boy Kurt Angle. And then 2 babyfaces. And the vignette with the Limp Bizkit, the song My Way. Oh, perfect build-up for this pay-per-view and for this event, especially a WrestleMania event. And everybody, you could tell if you watch it, the majority crowd was with Austin, and then The Rock just a little. But obviously it was in Austin's hometown in Houston, Texas. The one thing that it dropped everybody's jaws, and it dropped my jaw, was he turned heel and joined Vince McMahon. That was the one that captivated all. Nobody expected Austin to join with Vince McMahon. Did you guys expect it? No.
I think that was maybe the second biggest heel turn in history after Hulk Hogan joined NWO. That's probably number 2. Biggest heel turn. I would agree with you on that 100%. Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I think that in the world of professional wrestling, I think that was the second shocker of the world of wrestling, pro wrestling. I'm like, what? Austin joining The Rock? I mean, Vince? I'm like, what? Nobody expected that. And neither did I. My beard dropped. I'm like, I don't know what to say.
Wait a minute, were you a little too young for that beer there?
Yeah, I was.
No? Yeah. Ancient times. I gotta say, if charisma was water, that The Rock and Stone Cold have enough for the Pacific Ocean. That's how much.
Damn skivvy, man. You damn skivvy.
I agree. Yep. That's right. All right. Yeah, this is my top 5. Now, I would just mention at least 2 honorable mentions. I'll just do 2. It's tough, but I'll do them right away. I mean, my 1 honorable mention will be SummerSlam 91, Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect. That was a great technical match. Obviously, it was for the Intercontinental title. And it was, man, they put up a show. If you watch that match, YouTube it, man, you could tell they do not miss a step. No mistakes. No green. They know, like, they know each other like nothing. So that's my one honorable mention. My last honorable mention would be actually Hogan versus Warrior WrestleMania 6, because it actually was the first time we see Warrior now wrestle for more than 5 minutes, and for Hogan putting over the Warrior, giving him the torch. I mean, that takes a lot of balls to do, especially that you were hot as a babyface in that era, and to put the Warrior up there only lasted him not that long with him being the champion, but at least Hogan did it. I mean, he had the balls to do it. You guys disagree or agree with that?
Thumbs up with that.
Agree with it.
All right. So that's my honorable mentions. Now let's go ahead and move on with. I want to hear what Mr. Killer got to say.
Ooh, here we go.
All right. I got number 5 for you. Number five. Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania.
All right.
Do you remember that shooting star press right there?
Yeah.
Brock went to hit it. He missed it, but damn, he came back from it, and he still picked him up for the F5, won the fucking match, won the championship, and it made Brock Lesnar right there in that moment.
Yep.
Even bigger than he already was becoming. The next big thing had arrived, and man, that fucking shooting star press right there.
It was scary, bro. Oh my god.
It was scary as fuck, but it is one of those moments that's gonna live forever to me. It's gonna live forever to me.
Mm-hmm.
And number four. This is one of these matches like I don't think I've ever seen a match with this much build up and anticipation. And the way it was done, like to make us wait this long. And I'm talking about the first time that we saw Cena and The Rock face off at WrestleMania. We waited a fucking year to see that match. A year. And when we finally got to see it, I had goosebumps, man. I was ready for it. I was hyped. Was you not hyped? I was hyped.
I actually was. I was just tired of seeing The Rock. You can shimmy. You can shimmy.
Oh, yeah.
And calling him Fruity Pebbles.
I loved his comeback. Man. When The Rock returned and the distancing and all that. And then the year before the match with Cena, the first match, The Rock was what? The host of WrestleMania?
Yeah.
It was just such a long fucking build up. And when they do that and you have a payoff like that at the end, it's just fucking epic. So the first meeting between Rock and Cena, that's number 4 for me.
All right.
That's number 4 for me. And number three for me is I'm gonna go with Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret the Hitman Hart.
WrestleMania 13. That's right.
Yeah. This match right here, man, they tuck it to each other. And this match to me, it just put Stone Cold in that position that he was that badass. He fucking would not tap out. He passed out before he would tap out. He would not give up. Blood coming down his face. He passed out from the pain of the sharpshooter. Bret the Hitman Hart. He won the match, but Stone Cold still had his pride. He took the pain, and he ate the pain, and that motherfucker, that's why he's the badass that he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that one.
And also, that was the number 1 selling T-shirt of him actually, bloodied up with the blood going down during that time. And it was. I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
right? And it did solidify Austin's career from there, too.
And now, where I'm at now, number 2, huh?
One of those.
All right, I got you. Let's get a little bit spooky here. Halloween Havoc, 1997. Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. I'm talking about title versus mask. Title versus mask for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Oh, my God.
Now, I believe Rey Mysterio walked out victorious in that one, didn't he?
Yes.
When that match was going on, Eddie made you believe like he was about to rip Rey Mysterio's mask off so much in that match. You could half of it was almost off almost. Did you not see that?
Yep.
I loved everything about that match. I love the fucking I love the ring attire. I thought I could have swore it got match of the year in WCW. I'm not sure, but these guys, man, I love the ring attire, like I said, and holy shit, man, one of the greatest matches of all time to me. Mysterio, Guerrero, Halloween Havoc. I could watch it over and over and over. Every time when it gets October, put that little Halloween Havoc on the WWE Network.
Well,
and
yeah.
You check out that match right there.
We ain't going to have no Halloween anyways. Might as well sit down and watch that classic match.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
Mm-hmm.
And number one,
drum roll.
I'm going to have to go with the Iron Man matchup at WrestleMania between Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman Hart. This was the moment right here. This match, Bret Hart thought he had it won, and he should have won it because it shouldn't have went into overtime.
True.
Fuck you, Sergeant Slaughter, or was it Sergeant Slaughter? Yeah, it was.
Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Him, that motherfucker. Oh, the match. Oh, it's going overtime, and then but you know what? It made it better. And the fact that Shawn Michaels won the title, it made him that night right there as well. He was already a big star, but it made him even bigger.
Yep.
Bret Hart, his story was that he was waiting right there to shake Shawn Michaels' hand. Shawn Michaels had the title. The boyhood dream had come true for the Heartbreak Kid. And Bret Hart's side of the story was that he went to go shake Michaels' hands, and Michaels was like, "This is my moment. Get the fuck out of the ring."
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean that, but still, that's what makes good rivalries and good feuds if they really hate each other, you know, and still can work together good. And still can work if you can hate each other in real life and you can still put on a good show, then that makes it even better. So yeah, that's my number one right there.
All right. So what about any honorable picks?
My honorable picks. I want to say, I'm not sure, but I want to say Benoit and Jericho. I'm trying to figure out. I believe it was a ladder match at the Rumble, was it not? Or am I thinking about somebody else?
I think it was 2001.
Yeah, that match right there. That one is one of my honorable mentions. And let me see. Another one is that Kurt Angle Undertaker match from No Way Out.
Mm-hmm. Classic. Touche. Wow.
And if one more I could do.
Yeah.
It was not the greatest fucking match, like from a physical standpoint. But if you think about it, at that time, the crowd and the fans was a lot different. So I'm going with Hogan and Andre at WrestleMania 3 because the match is so iconic. It's so iconic, man. It's so iconic. So that's an honorable mention right there.
Very true, because that was the first time 93,000 people in attendance-wise, and seeing the body slam from Andre the Giant, the crowd went crazy. So, yeah, I'm with you on that 100%. Man, good fucking picks, man. I love it. Next up, we get Mr. Cardona's brother. We get Ricky Steamboat's nephew. All right. Mr. MGC, what do you got for us?
So here are my picks, and it's a special one because I'm going with like enjoyment and like how unique he was and just all these different things. Number 5 is going to be a bit of a surprise. Elimination Chamber number 2, where it was Goldberg versus Jericho versus Triple H versus Kevin Nash versus Randy Orton. And who else? Shawn Michaels was in there too.
Yes, HBK.
You know, and everybody who worked together to make this like one of the most exciting things I've ever watched, one of the most intense, adrenaline-packed things I've ever watched. I think it was like if Jim Ross wasn't on commentary to put Goldberg over in this, it wouldn't have had the same effects. Because Jim Ross, I don't want to blow out my mic or hurt you guys' ears, but Jim Ross was like, "Oh my God, How powerful is Goldberg? Unleashing on everybody with a heartbeat. Oh my, don't turn around, Jericho. He spears Jericho through the glass. Goldberg kicks down the glass. He jackhammers and pins freaking everybody who's in the ring. He spears. He pinned Randy Orton. He pinned Jericho. He pinned Shawn Michaels like consecutively, one after the other. I kind of wish that maybe they kept Kevin Nash in that match longer, and I kind of wish Goldberg went over on that. That would have been like the ultimate cherry on the cake. But then again, this was during Triple H's reign of terror, so he cheats with the sledgehammer and retains the title.
Oh God, man! Fuck that reign of terror, man. If we ever go to hell, man, we will be forced to watch Triple H's reign of terror over and over and over and over for all eternity. That would be our own personal hell right there. I'll tell you what, man. Fuck.
And then Mae Young with the hand. Yeah, that'll be.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And choppy
choppy pee pee.
All right, so my number 4 match, Hell in a Cell, Undertaker versus Lesnar.
Which one?
It was the one where Undertaker's hand was broken.
Oh, No Mercy.
Yeah, Hell in a Cell, No Mercy, and there was just so much it was almost like Undertaker was like on the verge of tears. That's how deep both of them were being in character for this, because everything, the injury angle, I think there was a thing where Lesnar put Undertaker's wife into labor, into an early because he put his hand over his stomach, and it's like, life's a bitch. And then there was so much I really I was still a mark at the time. I really thought Undertaker was injured. Every injury that he got to his hand, or every time Undertaker used the cast as a weapon, I could feel the pain in my hand, in there. I was really compassionate for all of Taker's suffering in that match, because it was so much, and I really thought Taker was going to win and get that title because of everything he was going through, on the other show, Kane had his rivalry with Triple H, but I think in the beginning of the pay-per-view, Kane and Undertaker sat down next to each other, and they were like, "So, how was your week?"
I remember that.
I remember that was at the start of the pay-per-view. So that was my number 4, and it was just so emotionally touching. Number 3, I was kind of playing with these, so I just did a switch around, but number 3, Masahiro Chono versus the Great Muta, title for title. Masahiro Chono was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion at the time. I think this was 89 or 90, and this was after because Masahiro Chono won it from Rick Rude at the G1 Climax, and that was the reward. That you didn't just get a shot at the IWGP Heavyweight Championship,
but you win the NWA World Heavyweight
NWA. And then Muta, the Great Muta, he was the IWGP champion, and this was at the Tokyo Dome, and it was title for title. Muta had one of the coolest entrances ever. I think he had I think there was a samurai fight in the ring at the beginning. I forgot. There was something with there had to be something with ninjas and samurais at the beginning.
I have to see that. I have to see that match again.
Yeah, we got to rewatch it.
I got to rewatch it.
It was insane. And then Muta, I think Muta does either 2 or 3 moonsaults to end that match. That's how insane it was. Number 2, Sting versus Vader, and I gotta find exactly which one it was. Sting versus Vader at. I got it was.
Which version is Sting?
Surfer Sting.
Oh, what was
and
it?
Harley Race was.
Yeah, it was the manager. Yeah, I remember that match. Ah, shit.
I think it wasn't Starrcade. I think it was it might have been Great American Bash.
I think so too. I think it was Great American Bash. Yeah, I think it was. Because
in that match, I think Harley Race interferes, and he goes in for a headbutt.
Yeah.
To headbutt Sting, and he misses. He does a second rope headbutt. I think Vader goes for a moonsault and then a Vader bomb, and he misses both. And I think Sting either does a roll up or he does the Scorpion Deathlock. It was a really good match. I love almost every Sting Vader match that I've seen, you know, and it continues to be like favorite after favorite. So, and finally, that brings me to my number one.
Drum roll.
This Sting versus the Great Muta, New Japan
Holy
WCW,
That,
New
yes.
Japan WCW Super Show in '91, and Sting had like the coolest entrance music. It wasn't his down. It wasn't that one, and it wasn't the Man Called Sting. It was like one New Japan provided for him. It was like and he's like Sting had like the American flag base paint, and he had like American flag pants to represent the USA.
Yep.
It felt like I was watching like the Olympics. If pro wrestling was Olympics, you know.
Oh my God! Imagine, hey, Tony Khan, Bruce,
Get it?
Should we call him right now or
Yeah,
wait
hold
until?
And send us those burgers. Send us a message. Don't be a mess to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Well, we can't pull that off. Someone else pulled it off. Water Culture Pro Wrestling pulled it off. They did the World Cup, and then and then TNA did it too. The X Cup, they did it too.
Yeah. So here are my honorable mentions. I think I have one tie. My tie is Vader versus the Great Muta, and it was at a New Japan event, but it wasn't Wrestle Kingdom because they didn't really have like the New Japan events didn't have names. I only have like years.
Yeah, they only have the years because it was just only like events, but they never had like a name for it, honestly. And back in the day, I never had pay-per-views for it.
And I'm tying that with Naito versus Kenny Omega, Tetsuya Naito versus Kenny Omega at the G1.
Oh, that was a great match. Yes.
I think it was the G1. Was it the I think it was the final match for the G1 tournament.
Again, that was when Naito won it. The year
Naito, and that was intense.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the spots and that all over. And then my other one has to be this, like, because so many great matches are just happening, like even now as it's going on. I gotta say, this past Wrestle Kingdom 14, Naito versus Okada. That's my other honorable mention because that was the like you said with the Omega Okada, that ending of the storyline with that cherry on the cake. This was the cherry on the cake of the Naito storyline. This was like the closing of the Okada Naito chapter.
It was. That was a closing chapter because Naito could never also the same. Like one thing about Okada that people need to know that he's, like I said, Mike and Josh. I mean, he's the John Cena of New Japan. You know, but he held that belt for how long? A long time. Am I right?
A long time.
A long time.
His longest reign was like 2 years, and Kenny Omega was when Kenny Omega dropped it to Kenny. Mm-hmm. So this was like, it was kind of like you could compare it to like CM Punk John Cena feud, but this is better to me.
I know it's way better, way better because. Because Naito does kind of give you like the CM Punk attitude because
Rebel, Renegade,
Clockwork Orange style, like pretty much. That's how
Naito gives zero,
fucks. He gives zero F's about shit. He'll tell you
much
how it is. But good, damn, I love it. I love it. Sting though, Sting.
Woo,
woo, woo.
Stinger splash. Like Stinger I always imagine myself doing that.
Hey man, you gotta love Sting, man.
I do. I love Sting. I give him good credits due. Him and Ric Flair held that organization WWE for a long time.
And we still hate you, WWE. You had Undertaker and Sting under the same fucking roof, and you didn't pull the fucking trigger. You fucking Triple H loving motherfuckers.
Maybe if Mark Calloway wasn't as loyal to Vince. Imagine Mark Calloway in TNA. He would have just like Mark Callis on the motorcycle.
Oh man, that wouldn't have happened. In TNA, or you mean WCW?
Something.
I think he would.
Undertaker's a lifer, man. He's doing his life sentence in WWE. He already signed 15. He's just one of those motherfuckers. He's like loyal.
He's signed for life.
Legend.
He's loyal. Mm-hmm. He knows that Vince set him up and put him to that level, and Vince knows that he worked his ass off to get there. So
Yeah.
I mean, those two right there, they are fucking friends. Did you see Vince
By
McMahon
the way,
cry in that documentary?
whoever has the tape of the Undertaker versus or Mark Callis versus Sting match from like 91, 90, you know.
Shit's on it's on YouTube, I believe.
Yeah.
Should be on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I watched it before.
All right, now we saved the best for last, which is a great American hero of all heroes. Let's hear it out.
Oof, boy.
6-inch Python.
The 6-inch pythons are set to go right here.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do this list right here. Please excuse me if I freeze. But here we go. At number 5, this is kind of what started my fandom of Kurt Angle right here, and it's the inaugural Brawl from the Invasion pay-per-view. You know, I even mentioned WrestleMania 17 where Stone Cold turned heel. He turned heel again here, and it happened only a few months after it. And man, you know, the lead up to it, that Go Home Raw, where Stone Cold started beating up everybody. He was at the bar and then he ended up in the ring and stunning everybody. Man, I see that and I still get chills to this day, seeing that promo. One of probably my favorite promo or promotional thing of all time. But yeah, man, I enjoyed the match. As a fan at that time, I was a teenager, and the idea of oh my goodness, WCW and WWF and you know all that stuff, you know, not knowing where this story was gonna go, it really just made it just, you know, awesome and like a dream thing match going on there. So inaugural Brawl at number 5. Number 4, Great Minds Think Alike, Angle versus Benoit, Royal Rumble 2003.
Damn right.
Damn right.
I remember I was watching this at a sports bar, and yeah, it was just everybody was just all glued to the TVs. Everybody was just like, you know, it was such a match to watch and not knowing what was going to happen or the result, and then you know it was an awesome match. I would recommend anybody to watch that one. It's a showcase of technical ability for sure.
I'm trying to think of that move they done. Like I'm trying to think, did Jericho put the walls of Jericho on Benoit on top of the ladder? Some shit like that. They did something on top of the ladder that was a submission move.
Yeah, it was like the walls of Jericho, but in the ladder. But like
that was a great fucking match, man. And Jericho himself said it was. And he said like, man, so many great matches with Benoit. And if I come out with a DVD about my career, you know, all my great matches, a lot of them are with him.
Yeah, Angle too, man. Angle is another one. He's like another Bret Hart for me.
Absolutely. So that was at number 4. At number 3, and I remember, and this was mostly a nostalgic thing, really, a mix of nostalgia and the match itself, of course. And this is The Rock versus Hulk Hogan, the first one. You know, WrestleMania 18, and I remember Ivan was there too. We watched it at my old friend George's house.
God, I swear to God, I about picked that one too. But I went with Cena. I went with Cena and Rock. But damn, yeah, I would about pick that one. Great
that one.
Think alike. Yeah.
I remember
electric, man. That was
electricity, and we were in that room. I remember. I don't know if I remember, but I definitely remember that the electricity there. We had the Rock fans, we had Hogan fans, and you know it was just.
I was Hogan.
Yeah, no, I remember, and I was pro Rock, and yeah, you know, it was so electric.
I wanted the Rock to win, man. At that time I didn't know much about Hogan because I started watching the Attitude Era. Hogan was already going to WCW. I didn't watch WCW that much.
Hogan was
I was like, what the fuck? Why aren't they turning on the Rock? Why aren't they turning on the Rock? That's what I was like.
Because he was, I am a real American.
I really wish that wouldn't have happened. Everything. I like that it happened, but I wish that the NWO Hogan, the Hollywood Hogan, would have lasted a little bit longer in WWE.
Yeah.
True. We could have Stone Cold and Hogan.
The fans demanded the red and yellow again. I feel.
Yeah.
That reaction.
Yeah, but they could have waited for that. But they kind of had to do it in that moment.
Well, yeah.
It felt right.
Come on, you saw Vince's eyes when he saw the crowd going crazy for Hogan at WrestleMania 18 in Canada. He's like, "Oh my God, it's good shit." Money's just coming out of his eyes. Good shit.
Oh yeah.
But
everything was different.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Bring it back to yellow red.
Let me ask y'all this: if that WrestleMania would have took place in America, do you think that we would have got
same thing? Same thing would have happened.
You think the same thing would have happened?
Absolutely. Yeah, I 100% believe it. It may be even more amplified. I feel, being in the United States.
Oh my
for sure.
Maybe,
maybe
so.
My God, if that would happen here in the U.S.
It would have happened in like Dallas or
I
some.
always thought though like it happened like that in Canada because like Canada like is different crowd.
Yeah, but I would have said Madison Square Garden should have happened there. Hogan and The Rock, Madison Square Garden. Yeah, remember Hogan built Madison Square Garden. I'm not saying that Bruno.
Remember, it was supposed to be Hogan and Austin, but Austin didn't want to work with Hogan.
Nope.
And I don't blame him.
I don't blame him.
Well, didn't The Rock win though? Didn't he?
Yeah.
The Rock won. Yes.
I don't understand why Austin didn't.
I was pissed.
I forgot. Well, I know why he did. I did know why, but I forgot. He didn't want to do it.
Man. Pass the torch.
Oh no! I know why. Because Austin didn't want the fans to start chanting for Hogan to make him look like he didn't want him to look like getting turned on by the fans. Like he's supposed to be the badass, and the fans are supposed to like him. And then if they start cheering for Hogan, it's gonna fuck up Austin's reputation. That's why it didn't happen.
It's like Hogan did everything he could to be heel, and like I was still a mark at the time, and I really believed that freaking like I was so upset because I was such a mark that I really believed The Rock was. They ran a truck into an ambulance with The Rock in it. I'm gonna lay the smackdown. I'm gonna lay the smackdown on his cripple ass, NWO style. Like
that's right.
Like I remember, I watched that on repeat. I was like, "Oh my God, Hogan's so horrible." Like I taped it on VHS.
Yeah, same. Well, anywho, man. Number 3 was that. Number 2. It's Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon at King of the Ring 2001, I believe. Yeah, 2001. Man, I saw a video of them kind of talking about it, like kind of like a behind the scenes sort of thing, and just what Angle did with Shane McMahon, and I believe that was his 3rd match of the night. He had one with because he was trying to win King of the Ring, so he had a match with Christian, I think, then with Edge to lose because Shane McMahon interfered, and then the 3rd match was him and Shane, and even then, the level of intensity that this match had, especially being throwing Shane through the glass and attempting multiple times, and man, like I remember watching that and just like being in awe of how much punishment Shane was able.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's right back.
Sub-Zero.
Yeah, he was just killing it so much he went ice cold on us.
Yeah,
ice cold.
He went ice.
What wrestlers are the Icemen? Like it was was it Malenko or something?
The Iceman, D. Malenko, yeah.
Yeah, Malenko just went.
Yep.
Malenko or Glacier.
Glacier.
There you go.
Okay. Here we go.
I think Glacier from WCW showed up.
Go ahead.
No, but yeah, like I was saying, like this is one of those matches that if I was to introduce somebody to wrestling, then I would put this one, and of course my number 1. My number 1 pick.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen.
Anytime anytime I've introduced anybody to wrestling, I always put this match, and this is TLC 2 from WrestleMania 17.
Wow.
I
That one's good.
love that match. That match is what is my favorite of all time, and I remember putting it to when I was a teenager. I would put it. I introduced my friends with that match, and that led them to their own fandom. But yeah, you not only had the teams involved, but you had Spike Dudley coming in, Lita, Rhino. So all these bunch of people coming in, and ultimately Edge and Christian won the match. But such the iconic moment of it was Jeff Hardy holding on to the titles, and then Edge spearing him and all the way down. Masterpiece, my goodness. But yeah, so that's definitely my number one. Two honorable mentions. This was really close to being in my list. And it's the Randy Orton versus Mick Foley match from Backlash 2004.
Oh shit! You talking about the hardcore match with
That
the
hardcore
thumbtacks
match.
and
Yes.
all that shit?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That
That-
solidified him right there as a legend killer right there to me.
I'm with you on
Absolutely.
that. I'm with you.
Yeah, man. That's
And didn't
another
he face him
match.
didn't he face him as Cactus Jack, or was it
Yep,
just Mick
Cactus
Foley?
Jack.
Yes.
Cactus
Mhm.
Jack.
Yeah, see, that's what made fucking Orton, man, just going out and beating legends. They need
Not-
to do that with some more young wrestlers.
And not only that, he took that when he took the RKO, he landed on the thumbtack.
Woo.
You saw his
Yeah,
face.
and it hurt him too.
Oh,
That's
like,
what I say,
oh,
though, man.
worse than
It's
Ricky Starks.
But what I say, man, like, to be somebody in wrestling industry, man, to be somebody, you got to beat somebody. You got to beat somebody, and that's what
That's
he
right.
done.
Like Ric Flair
You
said, to
send
be
these
the
young
man.
guys out here.
You
Put
gotta
the young
beat
guys
the
out here
man.
and let them beat them. I feel like MJF in AEW, he could be like their version of the Legend Killer.
Yeah.
Cocky,
Very
young.
true. Very true.
Give him the title. Let the motherfucker win the title at a young age. Be the youngest world champion. Let him start beating legends. Bring some legends in and let him beat them and spit in their face like Randy Orton did Harley Race, Mick Foley. That's what I'm saying.
Sergeant
they can do
Slaughter, so many people.
that. There's so many. He could spit in Eric Bischoff's face this week.
I mean, if you want to build a blueprint for building a legend killer, that storyline right there is perfect right there, And the climax, I feel it was this match, and what a way to do it, Hardcore. You beat him at his own game, and you go on and win the world title a few months after that.
Like the reverse of that would be like Heath Slater jobbing to legends.
Oh my God, I remember that.
That's the reverse.
And one more honorable mention, because this kind of really got me excited for the women's division. It was Sasha Banks versus Bayley in TakeOver. I forgot which city the TakeOver took place in. I think it was Brooklyn, TakeOver Brooklyn. And I really enjoyed that match. And it kind of, for me, it was the start of the women's revolution, because I had not really checked out the NXT brand as much, or much less the women's division there. So watching that and how awesome that match was, it kind of piqued my interest in that division also. So I had to put that one in there too. Honorable mention.
I love it.
Oh hell yeah!
I love it.
Oh, I wanted to put one in there again, but I couldn't remember who the fuck it was in the match. I need to look it up. But the Invasion pay-per-view, man. I was gonna bring it up when Mike mentioned it earlier, but yeah, that Invasion pay-per-view where it was the Alliance versus the WWF at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that matchup, that elimination tag matchup, that matchup right there, it had me really believing as a kid that if that WWF lost, then that was it, and WCW was going to take over. So,
I kind of have thought about that before. That what if the WWF would have lost? I know that a few months later they changed it to WWE. I would have wanted to see that. Yeah, the Alliance won, and that the Alliance would
Yeah, they could
change
have
the
done
name.
that.
They would have changed the name to WWE and then carry on like that way. I think that would have been a interesting
You know what? You
finish.
know what? I always thought they could have done. I thought they could have done this. Is what they could have done when this storyline with the Alliance and all was going on. When all was said and done, it could have been and then right before they changed their name. They could have said, "All right, WWF's no more, ECW's no more, WCW's no more. Okay, we're gonna make WWE."
Yeah.
One W for WWF, one W for WCW, and then the E for ECW. And
Oh,
we are all
Woo.
one. It is all together now. It's all the same entity. So when they chant ECW, they're chanting WWE. When they chant WCW, they're chanting WWE. When they chant WWF, if they do chant that, they're chanting W.
I'm getting a
They're
message
chanting
from
Oh
WWE.
yes.
Tony Khan is
Tony
saying,
Khan.
that's great shit. I'm like,
You
Well,
know what? Yeah. Think about it. If
I
that would have
guys,
happened and they would have combined it all into one, when motherfuckers chant ECW, would be chanting for WWE then, because it's a part of it. That's the E. That would have been the E.
the
Mhm.
You
name
know, that would
I
have been
got
what it represented. You know,
you
they
know,
could have done
why
that.
we're not writers, for God's sakes.
I
for
gotta
any
say,
of the
with
promotions.
there's kind of a problem with the name World Wrestling Federation, because the National Wrestling Alliance is more like if you guys know what a federation is, it's like a federation is a combination of independent states not really ruled by one. Like everybody has a representative. You know, they should have been like when the WWF started, they should have just been World Wrestling Empire or whatever, because it's just ruled by a singular ruler.
But it wasn't
Cooper
like that at
McMahon.
first.
Yeah, it's very true. But I mean, like when it was like when Vince Jr. first took over, he was like, ruling emperor of what it was. National Wrestling Alliance is more like a federation, if anything.
Well, I mean, because remember, with Vince Sr., he was part of that as a
Yeah,
federation.
Vince Sr. was
So,
part of
yeah.
the National Wrestling Alliance.
That's how all.
When it was Capital Wrestling or WWWF.
Yep, because they were all part of pretty much all the industries. Traded, borrowed each other's talents. To put a show on.
That's more like what a federation is.
Well, that's what it.
defined by
Yeah,
the name. Yeah.
That's why he shortened it up to World Wrestling Federation, because they were in a group with all of them. They were all in a group with the NWA. I think with Georgia, Georgia Championship Wrestling. I think it was. You go on the list, but yeah, there's so many. But they share the talents a lot. That's how the San Martinos were born. The Billy Grahams, the Ivan Koloff, Buddy Rogers, the Ric Flairs, every out of all, and then so many. The Ventura.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. But Bob Backlund, the Iron Sheik, I could go all. But Papa Billy wanted to take over the world, so he bought them all off, and the last one was WCW.
I'm telling you, man. Just imagine like what I said though. Like
Jim Crockett territory.
if they would just combine all of them, become one. Every time they buy a company, they could just been like, it's now this, it's now this. And then they want to be their own thing.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're starting a new name, WWE. Nobody at that time, nobody had ever heard WWE. I mean, they could have just fucking said WCW, WWF, ECW, they're one. And then you would have all the fans from all of the fucking, they lost fans because some of them, the ECW went out of business, and they're like, fuck y'all. WCW went out of business, they're like, fuck y'all. WWF changed, but I'm saying, yeah, that would have worked. I think you could have used. They could have used names from ECW pay-per-views like Barely Legal or
Something of Respect, or what was it?
Or anything like that, and then they could have used Halloween. I don't know, Halloween Havoc. I don't think they can actually use that legally. I'm not sure.
WWE could have used a lot of pay-per-view names, Like for example,
Arcade would have been the biggest one.
They could have used November to Remember. They could have used that.
Yeah.
But
Dismember or was it?
No, it was ECW's original was November to Remember. And then they
see what I'm saying though. They
did December to Dismember, so that was horrible.
What I would have done if I was them, I would have used like the first part of the year would be like you can spread them all out. Do like a WWE, a WWF pay-per-view, like you got to do the Rumble. You got to do the Rumble in January. That's a fucking given right there. And then, of course, then you would probably do a ECW pay-per-view next. Maybe something like, I can't even think of none of their pay-per-view names, but
Barely Legal.
Barely Legal, yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. And then after that, you do WrestleMania, of course. And then do the Great American Bash in July or whatever, and Bash at the Beach. I mean, Halloween Havoc and all these other ECW. They could have done all that, man.
They could have done a lot.
All of it.
I just got a text from Triple H. Triple H is mad because we didn't add him in the honorable mention or didn't add him in the top 5. But you know what?
Triple H is the reason.
I thought about it.
I'll add him to this, and I'm pretty sure you guys will agree. I think the one that solidified Triple H's career as, as a heel, I would say when he went to the 3 stages of hell against Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he literally legitimately.
Oh,
you guys remember that pay-per-view? I think it was No Way Out, right, Mike?
Right.
No Way Out, right?
No Way Out, 2001.
Mm-hmm. That one was a great match between them two. 3 stages of hell. So I'll
tell you another one I thought about. I thought about the Armageddon, Hell in a Cell 6-man.
Oh, man, I forgot about that one.
I think it had Rikishi, The Rock, Stone Cold, Kurt Angle. Who else did they have?
Triple H.
Yeah.
Rage in a Cage, Penis in your anus. I don't care. I'll take them all on. The Rock. We'll do anything. Hell in a Cell, Rage in a Cage, Penis in your anus.
Choke slammed off that fucking cell, man. I know he landed in the truck now, but back when I was a kid, I was like, what the fuck? He's fucked up.
You know Rikishi shit on himself that day, right?
He shit on himself.
Yeah, I mean, think about
wrestler, that's
in
my
the words
worst
of Booker
nightmare.
T, tell me you did this.
Tell me you did it.
I'll never forget that fucking that fucking
that
segment
more
with Booker T and Rikishi in the bathroom, man.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. I had blocked that from my memory.
Rikishi goes in there taking a shit. Booker T comes in there. Rikishi comes out the toilet. Booker T's like, man, you need to spray something in here or something. And then Rikishi is like, that's my pre-match ritual. And then Booker T's like, who you got tonight anyway? Rikishi's like, me? I'll be backing that ass up on you.
I remember that.
After you took his shit, he said, I will be backing that ass up on you. I think he puked right after that, too.
That'd be my worst nightmare as a wrestler. That's like...
I've probably thought about that before, but I'm telling you, man, that's one of the funniest fucking moments. That's what we gotta do. That's what we gotta do in the future, man.
Yes,
we gotta do top 5 funniest moments in wrestling.
I think we will do that, definitely. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching our top 5 for week 14 with our top 5 picks of the week. Stay tuned for next Sunday. We'll do our top 5 best heels of all time for week 15, and more to come on these top 5. There's a lot that we could do. So if you have any suggestions or any comments, feel free to comment below. And also, follow our social media platforms as well. You can comment there to Twitter, or to Instagram. So just let us know what top 5 would you like to go ahead and do, and if you actually would like to join one day, let us know. We can get you on part of the guest here to do top 5 with us. We would like to hear yours. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Devious One IVC, alongside with the Karen beater of all beaters down there, Mr. Steamboat of Steamboats, and the Cardonas of the Cardonas.
Collecting G.I. Joes.
Collecting G.I. Joes and action figures, okay? Action figures. They're not
I
toys.
love action figures. I got them.
Action figures.
Love action figures.
And of course, we have the great American hero of all heroes. He is the hero of your American hero, Mike Lopez. And of course, the reputation killer of all killers, who is going to keep your reputation. But life. Now, Josh Bret Horton, we're all saying to you guys, good night, salud,
Salud.
and see you next Friday.
Damn right.